Hello guys! From the most terrifying clown that's ever existed to a tribe of cannibals, vampires, and other people. So horrifying, you'll probably have nightmares. Here are 10 of the scariest people of all time. Before we start the video, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you will be notified our latest update on time. Let's get started. Number 10. The Joker. The Joker is real and he's been arrested in Virginia. According to the New York Post, Virginia police recently arrested a man dressed as the Batman villain. Though, to be honest, he looked even scarier than any Joker portrayed in a Hollywood movie. He was charged with wearing a mask in public after the Winchester Police Department received 911 calls about a man dressed up like the Joker, running around in a cape and wielding a sword. Police quickly arrested the loose maniac who turned out to be 31-year-old Jeremy Putman. Nobody knows why he decided to dress up like the Joker and rise the neighborhood, but if he wanted to get some attention, it definitely worked. He was held on a $2,000 bond and could face a year in jail for being a menace and a disturbance to society. Number 9. Living Zombie. Living zombies have been spotted in Miami, Texas, and New Jersey, sparking fears of a contagious zombie virus in Miami. A naked man was caught eating another man's face. In Texas, a mother was accused of killing her newborn baby and then eating its brain. In Maryland, reported a man acting like a scary zombie. He stabbed himself 50 times and then threw his intestines at people. Let's get back to Miami to a man named Rudy Eugene, who has been one of the scariest people ever. It was 2 p.m. on a Saturday when he grabbed his victim near the MacArthur Causeway, stripped and naked beat him, and then literally gnawed his face off. According to the Tampa Bay Times, Eugene was a homeless man with a troubled past, not actually a zombie. It was life on the streets that turned Eugene into a scary monster. 15 minutes after the attack, the police arrived and found Eugene, basically foaming at the mouth with blood looming. Number 8. Wrinkles the Clown. Wrinkles of the Clown is the most terrifying clown that actually existed. It was a creepy clown spotted in gatherings outside of people's homes and skulking around in public. He always wears a distinct mask with huge black holes for eyes, a disturbing wig of white hair, and a polka dot onesie. He also sported black rubber gloves and was usually seen holding a bundle of colorful balloons. He had a bit of a belly too, and truly looked like a menacing clown trying to lure children into the sewers. This guy was actually for hire, with parents able to pay him to scare their children for a few $100. Wrinkles the Clown, when he was still told the Washington Post that he would make an appearance at a party or outside of somebody's house at night to scare a misbehaving child, and people actually hired him. Number 7. The Acero Mudmen. The Acero Mudmen are some of the most terrifying people in the world. They're a tribe living in Papua New Guinea who are known for wearing scary clay masks decorated with pig's teeth. They paint their skin white, they elongate their fingers with pieces of bamboo. And knows when or why they started being so terrifying. Even the Mudmen don't know when their tribe started making these freaky masks, though they believe it's been going on for hundreds of years. In the Acero culture, when two people get married, everyone wears their traditional costumes to the wedding. But according to legend, there was once a man who had no costume. And so he took a bag, cut 2 holes in it for eyes, dipped it in mud, and then wore that as a costume. But when he arrived at the wedding, everyone else thought it was a ghost and they ran away. Number 6. The Catman. There's a U.S. Navy veteran who spent years trying to turn himself into a tiger. He was known as the Catman, but his real name was Dennis Abner. He was one of the scariest looking people you could ever come across. He had at least 14 body modification operations to try and change himself into a literal cat. He had whiskers, cat ears, and even a mechanical tail that he could actually wag. But the operations didn't stop there. He had to split the top of his lip. He made his ears pointed, he got silicone implants in his cheeks and forehead, and had filed his teeth to make them look more cat-like. And then, of course, he covered his entire body in tattoos resembling the famous tiger pattern. But just because Dennis was a scary-looking guy, it didn't mean he was dangerous. He was actually just found dead inside his home in Nevada, at 54 years old. His friends called him a remarkable yet troubled man. Number 5. Man without a face. There's a man in South Carolina who doesn't have a face. He lives in Walterboro and recently shared a story of discrimination. We've all heard of racist before, but it's rare to hear a story about a man being discriminated against simply because he's quite frankly horrifying to look at. It's not his fault. But there's no getting around the fact that looking at someone who doesn't really have a face can be a little disconcerting. The incident occurred at a local convenience store. When Kirby Evans, who was 65 years old at the time, stopped to get some donuts and drinks. He sat down to eat, then the manager of the store came up to him and told him he needed to cover his face because he was scaring away customers. But just how exactly did Kirby lose his face in the first place? It happened about a decade prior to the incident, when he had surgery to remove basal cell carcinoma. This is a type of skin. And he had to have his left eye and all of his nose removed. It left him horribly disfigured, and pretty scary to the public. Number 4. The Vampire Lady. There's a woman known as the Vampire Lady. And depending on who you ask, she might just be the most frightening looking woman in the entire world, but despite her appearance, she's actually a completely normal person with a very interesting personal story that explains why she looks the way she does. Her name is Maria Jose Cisterna, and she has the record of the most body modifications of any human being. She has tattoos, subdermal implants, and fangs. Her body is one great work of art, but to her the way she looks like a crazy vampire who wants to eat you. Well, it makes her feel empowered. Maria doesn't like being known as the vampire woman. She actually prefers being called the Jaguar woman. She also has a completely ordinary job as a lawyer. According to Guinness World Records, she has 96% of her body covered in tattoos. She got her first one at the age of 14 and went on to earn a degree in criminal law in Mexico. Number 3. Vampire cannibals. There's a group of vampire cannibals living in Papua New Guinea who cover themselves in paint to look like skeletons. These are without a doubt some of the scariest people that exist in the world right now. And this is no joke, they are literally vampire cannibals. According to Live Science, one of these tribesmen was recently caught dragging his 3-year-old daughter out into the forest to suck the blood out of her neck and eat her alive. The act was witnessed by 2 local boys, who said that even when the man realized he was being watched, he simply laughed and continued to suck the young girl's blood. He was reported to the authorities and local officials quickly made an arrest, but this is no isolated incident. In a single year, at least 29 people were arrested for cannibalizing brains in Papua New Guinea. Number 2. The Lady Werewolf. There's a little girl who looks like a werewolf. Her name is Supatra Sassafan. When she was just 10 years old, she was named the hairiest girl in the world. She was born in Thailand and afflicted by a syndrome known as hypertrichosis. This syndrome causes an unusual amount of hair growth in the case of this young girl and made her look like Cousin It from the Addams Family. The affliction made hair grow out of her face. At first glance, most people would scream in horror since she actually does look like a werewolf. Their hair on her face grows as long as the hair on her head, and yet despite being one of the scariest little girls in the world, she actually had a relatively normal life at school. She used to get made fun of mercilessly. Number 1. The Lizard Man. The Lizard Man, like so many others we've talked about today, is covered in bizarre body modifications that make him look like a human lizard. He's honestly kind of horrifying, so it's no surprise that he works as an American freak show performer. He has sharpened teeth like an alligator, tattoos across his whole body that make him look like he's covered in green scales, a split tongue. His real name is Eric Sprague, born in 1972. He spent his life as a professional freak performing sideshow acts like eating fire, swallowing swords, being a human dartboard, and laying on a bed of nails. He even suspends himself from flesh hooks for petrified onlookers. He recently got recognition by Guinness Book of World Records for lifting the most weight from his earlobes as far as we know. Thanks for watching. Which of these people scared you the most? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe for more great stuff from the channel. We'll see you next time.